The reason why I created a form for this is that in order for you to really reach the goals that you're setting, you need to write things down. There's something about writing things down that make it more real for you. All right, you have to think about it, you have to think of the words, and all of that process helps in achieving a goal. So by filling these out, you're really making your chances of reaching that goal an awful lot greater. Okay? The first part is, my goal is real simple. Make sure that it's stuff that we've talked about. Take everything we've talked about in the class together. I want to lose 10 pounds. If it's for a child, you might say, I want Jimmy to stop pushing his brother, or something like that. All right? But you select a goal. Now remember, we talked about when you're selecting that goal, first of all, it has to be meaningful. It's got to be important to you. If losing weight isn't important for you, you're probably not going to stick with it. So pick a goal that's important for you. Something that you really want to work towards. All right? Second thing, is it measurable? Can you count it? If you can't count it, then you can't keep track of how well you're doing. If I have a thermometer and I give it to the child who has a fever, I can count the numbers and I can tell whether or not they're getting better. All right? Countable. Number 3, or part 3 of this, is make sure that it's realistic. Something you can do. Yes, I have lost weight before with a diet and exercise program. Yes, with a goal sheet program, I taught my child before not to do certain behaviors. So that you know it's something that's realistic for you, again, your chances are greater that you'll make it. Then the deadline. What is the deadline for the goal? That's so important because the goal is the dream of the deadline. So we say March 1st of 2012, or something realistic. It may be a little bit longer, but a realistic time frame for that goal. Now remember, we talked about taking black belt and chipping it down into smaller belts. So what you can do is you can take a goal and say, I want to lose 10 pounds, and we can chip that down into maybe a few pounds each week. All right? I don't want to start off real big. Always start off kind of slow. There's more of a chance that you'll be able to get to that goal, and that will reinforce that drive to keep going. So up there on the board, you see it's broken down into 3 short-term goals. See how we set a deadline for each one, so that we can see our progress going forward. And if the progress isn't there, if I get to one of these deadlines and I haven't met it yet, I have to readjust my program. Either I'm not doing some of the things that I've set out to do, maybe I've set things a little bit too high. That's basically what we do during week 5, is we look at everybody and every student gets a progress check as to how they're going towards the goal of black belt. So we have that built into the system so that there's always an opportunity. If we go, well, no, you need more work on the forms, see we can do that now, and then there's no interruption with your going from white belt up to black belt. All right? Next thing, and this is something too to think about in karate, what obstacles might get in the way? I can't tell you how many times in high school and college I didn't go out on weekends and kind of party with my friends because I had to either teach or I had to train. Okay? Those things happen. You have to think about what is it that might get in the way. I didn't let that get in the way. For each person, it's a little bit different. When you're trying to lose weight, when you're trying to do something for yourself, I think discouragement is one of the biggest things that we face. And discouragement can be dealt with kind of easily from the beginning if you just sort of pre-frame yourself for the possibility of it. Well, you know, I usually get pretty discouraged pretty quick. And, all right, I'll take that into consideration. When I begin feeling discouraged, I've already made a decision. I'm not going to let it stop me. I'm going to keep on going. Remember, if we wait till we feel like it to get it done, it'll probably never get done. Do it. Behaviors follow actions. Actions don't follow behaviors. All right? Behaviors follow actions. If you're not feeling happy, behave happy. And you'll start to feel happy. It's weird, but it works. All right? So make sure that your obstacles are all taken care of. Then once you've got all that set into place, you may need some special skills. All right? If you're losing weight, maybe a book that you have that has a diet in it. Maybe something that you've used before. If it's something you want to do with a child, shape behavior, you need to know a little bit about behavior modification, what things work, how to reward, how to punish if at all necessary. These things are important. So then you have to decide what people you need to bring together. There may be people that you need to help you. If it's a child at home that's working on a plan, obviously the parents need to be in agreement with where they're headed and what the goal needs to be. Okay? Here, I can help you with anything that you may be working on when it comes to behavioral plans at home. All right? So we get that all out of the way, and then the final thing that we need to look at, and this is just as important as anything else that we have, is how am I going to reward myself when this is all done? And this needs to be something at the beginning. And this needs to be something powerful enough to motivate you during these next several weeks or months of your goal plan. All right? Taking a weekend off and going to the Cape. That might be a great, way to pat yourself on the back for achieving something. Giving a child something special for them, taking them somewhere special, that could be something that would work for them. Parents tend to leave this part out or belittle it because it's like, well, they should be doing this anyway. Not until they've learned it. Until they've learned what they need to be doing, they don't know that. You do because you're older and we think on a much different level than an 8, 9, 10, even a 12, 13, 14-year-old. Adults that have been through all that process of learning and growing know things just a little bit better. Don't leave out the reward. The reward is a very, very important part of the whole process. All right? So putting them all together, hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea of how to create a goal for yourselves. You take these with you, and when we get back for week 5, we'll talk a little bit more about it and maybe get down into some real specifics. Okay, so all the parents, you're welcome to join in for that particular little session when we get back. It'll be just during this talk class, just like this. All right, well, thank you very much. Give yourselves a hand.